touchdowns, 200 yards, touchdowns, no touchdowns, I'll do that. Or 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Shannon, are you buying this new approach by Dak?
Publicly, yes. Privately, hell no. That sounds good in theory, Skip.
Yep.
And so, Dak, I'm anxious to see that. But if Dak views himself, you think they ask Patrick Mahomes take a back seat? What about Josh Allen? What about Joe Burrow? What about Lamar Jackson?
Do you think Dak views himself in that company?
He does.
He does. I agree.
He absolutely
yes,
does.
Yes, sir. I agree.
So for him to say, oh, I'm willing to take a back seat, publicly, that's what you say. Privately, like, back seat? Y'all need me to win this game. I'm driving. I ain't taking no back seat. I'm not riding the bus. I'm the bus driver. I'm driving the bus. In order for you to get to where the destination, man, this ain't no self-driving. This ain't no self-driving vehicle, Skip. You know, I think Tesla got one of them most self-driving cars.
Yep.
Amazon got them self-driving vehicles. Dak said, that ain't it. I'm the driver.
I'm the driver.
And so if you want to go somewhere, you need to come see your boy. Skip, I can see if they had Nick Chubb, if they had one of these dominant running backs, Saquon.
Yep.
That ain't what they got. Derrick Henry. He says, okay, Ryan Tannehill, don't you mess this up. The man got rushing for 2,000 yards, 1,800 yards. Don't you mess it up. Zeke barely getting 1,000. Tony Pollard probably going to end up with what? Probably about 600-700. So it's not like they got this vaunted, like they got the 72 Dolphins that ran for 3,000 yards, or the Ravens in 2019 when they ran for 3,000 yards.
They did.
That's not what they have, Skip. They make it seem like they got, this team here, they just turn around and they just pound you and hammer you away. I get it. I just want to see. Dak says if it means, throwing 20 times for 200 yards and no touchdown, I done been around this game too long, Skip. Guys will say all that stuff publicly, but privately they're like, hell nah, I'm gonna wing it. I'm finna throw it. I'm gonna see. I don't think Dak can be a game manager because I don't believe their run game is that good. Now, I'm not saying he needs to throw the ball 40 times a game because your defense is that good and you can't put them in harm's way. But Dak is going to have to win games as opposed to just manage it and make sure and delegating authority and to make, 25 runs, you get your 20 runs, Zeke, you get your 10, and I'm going to throw the ball 20. I don't believe that's the way they're going to win this. Dak's going to have to throw to beat somebody.
So I am with you times 10 because I am going to call baloney on Dak Prescott for saying, if it means going out there and throwing 20 times for 200, baloney. if it means that, he's not a happy camper.
Right.
That's not how he wants to do it. I'm not going to go so far as to say that Dak Prescott has turned into Russell Wilson, but there's some of the same syndrome operating because once upon a time, Dak was a fourth-round pick out of Mississippi State, just very happy to be here and be in the starting lineup and finally, over a 12-game period, reduced Tony Romo to tears, basically, and a concession speech where he just had to say, I give up. He's got it.
Right.
Go with it. And he went with it. And for a while, he benefited from the best running back in football. And you want to talk about quarterback having a best friend for a running game? Well, he had a best friend off the field and on the field, right?
He had the best O-line in football, too.
He had the best O-line.
Tyrus Mills was in his prime.
It was an all-time.
Zach Martin.
It was an all-time.
Frederick.
And all of a sudden, commercials started to pour in. And all of a sudden, I look up and Dak, by most counts, had around a dozen national TV commercials.
Man, he needed his rest, so he had to do a bed commercial. He had to do a mattress commercial. He needed rest.
Sleep number. Man, sometimes the offense puts me to sleep. I need a sleep number. So the point is, he finally got paid.
Yes.
By hook or crook. I think Jerry did it through gritted teeth.
Yes, he did.
And told him to his face at the press conference.
He told him he did it through gritted teeth.
He did. I overpaid you. So suddenly Cooper Rush happened, and I'm saying, boy, he's got some mystical mojo about him. I don't know what it is. You can call it game managing or just making the throw when you absolutely have to make the throw.
Right.
And by the way, Cooper Rush won at Minnesota on a Sunday night, the biggest stage. And then he comes right back and he beats both of last year's Super Bowl teams. Again, he had a lot of help from the defense, I'll be the first to admit, but he beat Cincinnati with 3 late clutch throws and a walk-off field goal, and he went out and beat the Rams at the Rams. Those are the 2 Super Bowl teams. And then he went up and beat the Giants, and by the way, now I look back, that's their only loss. He beat them on a Monday night, right?
Yep.
He beat a Washington team, arch rival, division rival, again, at Jerry World, but he beat them pretty soundly, and we just saw Washington rise up and beat Green Bay, right?
Don't y'all got to go to Green Bay?
That's coming off the bye. We go Minnesota, is it Green Bay, Minnesota? I think it's Green Bay, Minnesota. But the point is, Cooper Rush, just when it looked like he had unraveled, then he got himself back together, and they got it all the way back to 2017 on a Sunday night in Philadelphia against the hottest pro football team there is, both on offense and also on defense. He got it back to 2017, and my defense couldn't stop Jalen Hurts on 3 straight big third down plays.
Okay.
Not bad. And I believe that Dak Prescott was threatened by that. I believe he has been threatened by the fact that Micah Parsons has become the face of the franchise.
Yeah, well, he's the best player.
I know. He just is. Yeah. I'm sorry. And so Dak now has an image to protect because his first year with that contract, he made $75 million.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it went completely to his head, but now every time I look up, he's up against the housewives on TV, and that, is it a Direct TV commercial?
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah, Direct TV. And by the way, I think Cooper Rush would have done a better job against the housewives than Dak did because he just gets dominated.
Yeah,
I don't think Cooper Rush would have gotten dominated by the housewives, but who knows? The point is that he knows he has a personal reputation to live up to now. And it scares me because I kind of like the way it was operating with Cooper Rush, relying heavily on the defense and to a certain degree on the run game.
Skip is with anything. The more money you make, the more responsibility you have.
I got it.
They're not paying you for... You're not paying a quarterback $40 million, Skip, to be a game manager.
No.
You're just not.
No. And I don't think Dak Prescott looks in the mirror and sees a 4th-round draft pick.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely not.
He sees the quarterback of America's team. And you want to talk about being in a heady position. That can go to your head fairly quickly because... Isn't it like the premier position in all of sports is to be the cowboy quarterback?
Yeah, Skip, like you said, he sees himself as Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He sees himself like, I can do that.
Absolutely. So when you tell me
I don't believe he can, but
happy,
he believes it.
No, I got it. And I'm with you on that. I'm going to drive home the fact, again, he just won a game by hook or crook against Detroit in which they almost trailed 13-10 early in the 4th quarter. But he's now 19-18 in his last 37 starts.
Right.
He's now 7-6 in his last 13 starts.
Right.
So he hasn't exactly set the world on fire.
No.
Even though he's thrown for a bunch of yards and a bunch of points.
Skip, of his 10 fourth-quarter comebacks, 17 game-winning drives, all but 3 came between 16 and 18, 2016, 2018.
Yep.
When they had the best offensive line in football, and Zeke was the best back in football.
He was.
He had 2 last year, 1 in 2020.
There you go. What have you done for me lately? Not all that much, actually.
He got an A. I don't know if he's had a better opportunity. They have a Super Bowl defense. Dak, don't you mess it up.
Okay, so what did I see to start? Last year, he goes down to play the defending champs and the GOAT at their place, and he throws an absolute party. It was 430-something, right?
And you don't believe he's played that well again.
He had, okay, but they lost.
Right.
They lost on a walk-off because Brady goated him at the end, as he's done so many times.
Yeah.
That was the old Brady. And he was old, but he was the old Brady, right? So the point is, then we spin it forward to this year, and what did I see on opening Sunday night at Jerry World?
Right.
I saw Dak score 3 points against Tampa's defense that's not very good right now, right? Okay. There we go. And he struggled against the Detroit Lions. So I need to see, I think he's thinking, it's time for me to throw for 405 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy's not mincing words, guys, on what he thinks the problem is.